Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to be talking about Flinch! This is the version that's published by Hasbro 2018, and it is published by Eugene H. Munger. And he designed by him. And
he's dead, so he couldn't publish it.
Yeah, exactly. And he can't be mad if I say his name wrong because he's not here.
Dark start to this review. This is a classic card shedding game. Basically, you have a little deck of cards, you have a hand of cards, and you even can add cards to your own reserve. You can use all those three different ways of cards in order to ultimately get rid of your deck of cards. And you're trying to get rid of them in numeric order. First one to get rid of your cards is going to win. There's a classic version of the game as designed by our good buddy Eugene. But there's also the rules for fast flinch, which I'm going to show you guys in the box. So yeah, let me give you a quick overview of how to play. Alright, here's our setup for flinch. Every player is going to have a deck of 10 cards, dealt them face down, and then to reveal the top card face up. There's our main deck over there, and then each player is also going to get a hand of 5 cards. So what's going to happen is on your turn, you can play as much as you want or as much as you can, all in attempts to try to get that deck down to 0. You can only play cards numerically in ascending order, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can only start with either a 1 out one of the piles in front of us or a wild. So there's 4 piles you can start over here, and then what's going to happen is at the end of our turn, once we've played everything we can play, we're going to take 1 card from our hand, and we're going to put it down below here. It's kind of a reserve card. And we can have up to 4 reserve piles going down below. Alright, so we've got a 5 there. So on our turn, what we're going to do is we're going to start a couple of these piles with some of these ones we drew. Alright, there's not really anything else we can do, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this 13, and we're going to take it and put it in one of our reserve piles down below. Then we're going to draw our hand back up to 5. Alright, it's fantastic. Alright, so it's on our turn. Our next turn, obviously the other players are going to take their turns. And then on our turn, we can go 2, 3, 4. And now we place our 5 card on that. Flip that over. There's also wild cards. Wild cards could be anything you want them to be. Let's put this down here as a 2. Alright, so now we've got to get up to a 10. So these are the cards we have. Again, we're going to end our turn by putting a card in the reserve pile and draw our hand back up to 5. If you ever run out of cards in your hand before you do your kind of discarding to the reserve pile over here, and you have no cards in your hand, you get a chance to draw 5 more cards and keep your turn going. That's kind of a nice little bonus. Alright, so then once again, the turn ends by you discarding a card, putting it in your reserve pile. You can actually stack those on top of each other if you would like. On your turn, you can also play cards from your reserve piles as well. So either from your hand, or from the pile, or from your reserve piles. But really, all that really matters for winning the game is that pile right there. The first person who's able to get rid of all 10 cards in their deck is going to be declared the winner. That is the rules for fast flinch. There's also just kind of classic flinch, which involves adding in these 14, 15 cards and taking out the wilds. Other than that, the gameplay is the exact same.
One of the things you can probably tell even from this box is that it is a very bright game. So the colors are pretty cool when you're laying it down. It creates this spectrum of 1 to 13. There's no real artwork. It's just the colors of it. But it still does look kind of cool when you're building that in front of you.
This game feels extremely familiar. I'm sure you've played versions of this growing up, or there's just a lot of different iterations of this that have happened throughout time, right? But I enjoyed the fast rules that they came up with the wild and the smaller number piles. You really can buzz through that. It's less constrained, right? You're able to just zip through the game. It's so much faster. It's called fast flinch, so you would imagine it's faster. But man, you can just sit down at any time with just a small little table space and play this in 5, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, but here's the thing. It's just a card game. Like, you can play this game, you get 2 decks of cards and just shuffle them together. You can keep the jokers in there to make them wild. It's like, you have this game in your house with just 2 decks of cards. You don't need this because you already have the game. I know all of you watching this have, at the very minimum, 1 deck of cards in your house, but I'm going to bet you have 2 or more decks of cards in your house. Side note, we have like 100 deck of cards, but that's a completely different thing.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, I had a card collection.
Yeah, and I also had a card collection, and then
we got married.
It was like the only thing I collected. We have tons of cards. But what I'm saying is you don't need this because you already have the game at your house.
That being said, this is a packaging nightmare. It's a packaging nightmare. This, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like this wonky stair step kind of a thing. So outside of perhaps for the reason of
making it stand out on a shelf.
Yeah, putting it on, hanging it from a thing, having it be like, oh, what's that about? Storing it on a shelf or or in a drawer or whatever, trying to stack these is horrible. It's a nightmare. I definitely, if we keep this, which I'm not even saying we're going to do that, but if we
already
do,
have it with the 100 decks of cards that we have.
I would take the cards out of this, throw this box away, and put it into either a tuck box or even just rubber band them together, which is not something I normally do, but for the kind of game like this, it gets the rubber band treatment.
Yeah, so this game is fine. I like card games, so I enjoyed it. It's just it already exists. We already have it, and this is something that maybe if you wanted to pretend like you were bringing a new game over to a relative who liked card games, and you wanted to wow them with the horrible box and the bright colors, you could definitely do that if you wanted to.
Okay, we've been mean to this game, but it's a classic. It's a fun game. I do have a good time playing this. But like Bethany mentioned, spending money on it, probably not worth doing it. But this is also be a great game to break out with your aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas who like those card shedding style games. I think they're going to get a kick out of it, and you will too. It's a fun game. It really, really is. It's fast and it's simple and it works. But again, it's nothing you haven't seen before.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.